So, I'm Dave Peck and I've been using Canon gear for a long time to take landscapes. Thing is, although this is a brilliant camera, it's really heavy. So the question is an Olympus OMD1 going to be any better or not? And if so, is it going to be suitable? So thanks for tuning in. This is a Millie, by the way, one of our dogs. I've tried for ages to record this video log. It's a lot harder than it looks. I've recorded it 3 times out on location, and this kind of thing keeps happening. And then things like this. And the red line around the edge indicates that's a red cut. And this.
Oh!
So I've abandoned trying to do it out on location. I'm going to try and do this video log from inside so I can control things a little bit better. Hopefully when I'm in the lakes with what turns out now to be probably 3 camera systems, because I've just heard that I may have a good chance of borrowing an XT2 Fuji plus a range of lenses. So I'm going to try and do an equipment kind of camera test versus battle type thing when I'm up in the lakes, which will obviously mean that I'll have to take some footage outside on location. But for now, let's have a look at the Canon 5DS. So before I start, let's get rid of this little girl. Okay, say goodbye, Millie. And now we'll have a look at the Canon. So here's the 5DS. I'll have a quick look at it. I'm sure you've seen one of those you Canon users will know this. A very familiar camera, very solid, weatherproof, stabilisation on the L lens. As far as the body's concerned, I really like the live view. I'm not sure we'll be able to see this actually, but it's got live view on the back. It also has a level which I really like. As you can see, the exposures there. Got a lovely level, spirit level. We can select the histogram if we want to, and scroll through the various menus. I wish the histogram was on the screen at the same time as the level, because I'm constantly working with a ball and socket head and moving around. It generally feels like working with a 5x4 camera to me. Let's just take this off actually. I used to work as a school photographer many moons ago, and we used to take panoramics quite a lot, and the way we'd shoot them would be to shoot the whole school group with a 10x8 plate film camera and then just crop the central portion, which is what I still do with this. Because it's a 50 megapixel sensor, I feel that I can crop it quite easily and not lose too much quality, which I do quite a lot. It gives me an opportunity to crop down stuff, but I generally try and shoot, if I'm shooting full frame and I'm going to use the whole full frame, I will generally move my camera and shoot on location the correct way. I'm one of these guys who tends to shoot everything in camera, so I use Lee filters, I use grads, I use little stoppers, etc, etc, polarizers, to make sure that everything's done in camera as often, as close as possible. I don't tend to do an awful lot of post processing. It's not something that I've really been particularly interested in. So the files that come out of here are really nice. I prefer the Canon system to the Nikon system because of the colour of the files. I think the reds are really lovely, which is why I've used it for so long. But the disadvantages are it's very heavy. So that's why I'm looking at moving, or looking at changing anyway, or looking at thinking about it. Other things that I like. The menu system, very easy to navigate. It's got everything you want, controls in here. Places for the remote to go, USB, HDMI out, all that kind of stuff. It's all in the back. Really nicely put together. The card and everything's in there. You've got dual card slots. One's a CF card, which I have a load of, and one's an SD card. Now, CF cards have fallen out of fashion. I've stopped using them. So it's going to mean getting rid of my CF cards if I change cameras, because the Olympus and the Fuji both use SD cards, but that's not a big problem. I think the price of cards now is very reasonable, so that's good. The live view is really nice for me. I've got some footage I can show you from Dovercourt. I'll take the horrible wind noise out and show you, but you can magnify, you can focus in 2 or 3 times by just pressing the little button on the back here. Okay, the little magnifying glass, it zooms right in and you can focus manually, which again is like using a 5.4 or a 10.8 camera. Everything was done under a big black cloth and make sure everything was focused in. Didn't have to rely on the autofocus whatsoever. So that I really quite enjoy it. It's got an interval timer, it's weatherproof, pretty much robust. I've had water over the top of it. Just last week I was at Cromer and the tide was coming in and it was hitting the seawall and going up and then over me and the camera. Both of us survived, although I was a little damp. So that's the really good thing about the camera. The battery life is amazing. I've got 4 batteries, but I don't think I've ever used more than 2 in a shoot, and that was a whole day shoot. So that's a great thing for DSLRs. It's got a mirror lockup, so I can have it, in fact I've got it set so that when I press the release button the mirror will lock up and then the shutter goes about a second later, so any vibrations that you've got from the tripod shouldn't affect the quality of the image. They shouldn't get any camera shake, so that's really good. I love all the little dials on here, so we can set, it's locked, I can set it for my 3 different kind of landscape setups, and also I've got a setup for normal kind of shooting, but I don't tend to use it a lot for that, I have to admit. I've never used it really to its full extent apart from with landscapes. So just to summarise, I use it like a 5x4 10x8 view camera. I quite enjoy the discipline of setting things up that way, but it's heavy, and that's the reason for the change. So I'll put the footage of the magnifier, I'll get rid of all the sound because it was very windy and hideous, in the next bit. For now, thank you very much. I get the Olympus in about 4 days time. The Fuji, who knows, about the same I think. As soon as I get them, I'll be back online and I will show you my kit, and I'll show you the Olympus kit and we can compare the size, etc, etc, etc. I'm quite interested to see whether I can pack my drone into my normal camera bag. So we'll find out. That's happening very soon. So for now, thanks very much. Please subscribe if you want to see the rest of the videos. Any advice and comments, very welcome, including advice on how to vlog, but we got there in the end. So I'll finish with the footage of the magnifier on the live view of the 5DS and just some pictures. So until next time, see you later.